President Trump explaining why he fired James Comey and getting personal, calling the fired FBI director a showboat and a grandstander. And we learned today the president says he asked James Comey, who was leading the investigation into Russian meddling, if the president himself was under investigation. Tonight, some asking, should the president be asking the FBI director a question like that at all? ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl leading us off.
Contradicting White House officials from the vice president on down, President Trump today said that he decided on his own to fire James Comey.
He's a showboat. He's a grandstander. The FBI has been in turmoil.
The president said he decided to fire Comey well before the deputy attorney general weighed in.
He made a recommendation, but regardless of recommendation, I was going to fire Comey, knowing there was no good time to do it. And in fact, when I decided to just do it, I said to myself, I said, you know, this Russia thing with Trump and Russia is a made-up story.
In his letter firing Comey, the president claimed the FBI director had told him he was not under investigation 3 separate times, including during a dinner at the White House, a dinner he said he believes Comey requested.
He wanted to stay on as the FBI head, and I said, I'll, consider, we'll see what happens, but we had a very nice dinner.
The president said Comey also assured him he was not under investigation in 2 separate phone calls.
I said, if it's possible, would you let me know, am I under investigation? He said, you are not under investigation. I know that I'm not under investigation, me personally. I'm not talking about campaigns. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm not under investigation.
Isn't it inappropriate for the President of the United States to ask the FBI director directly if he is under investigation?
No, I don't believe it is.
But one of these conversations, the President said, happened at a dinner where the FBI director, according to the President, was asking to stay on as FBI director. Don't you see how that's a conflict of interest? The FBI director is saying he wants to keep his job, and the President is asking whether or not he is under investigation?
I don't see that as a conflict of interest, and neither do the many legal scholars and others that have been commenting on it for the last hour. So no, I don't see that as an issue.
The president's words tonight that he decided on his own to fire Comey stand in stark contrast to what top White House officials, from the press secretary to the vice president, have been saying for days. That the president's decision to fire Comey was triggered by the recommendation of Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein.
He provided strong leadership to act on the recommendation of the Deputy Attorney General.
John Karl with us live from the White House. And John, that was the vice president yesterday, clearly pointing to the Deputy Attorney General on this decision to fire James Comey. Today, the president said he was going to fire Comey regardless of that recommendation, an apparent shift from what we heard from the vice president yesterday. You pressed the White House today on this. How do they explain it?
Well, it's a dramatic shift, David, over the last 48 hours, and I asked repeatedly about this, and remarkably, the spokesperson for the White House said, and this is a direct quote, "Our story is consistent."